What were you expecting? This is a great question to ask when it comes down to your preaching, your speaking, your keynoting. What were you expecting? When you put that message together, when you put that sermon together, what was your expectation? I'm going to submit something to you today. There are so many people that when it comes down to preaching, there is a very low expectation. You know, I was driving one day and I saw the sign that said new pastor in town. So I tuned into their live stream. And the first thing I heard the pastor say, it just blew my mind. I was just all messed up. I was like, I cannot believe that he is saying this. I cannot believe that he is letting this come out of his mouth. He says, well, I'm glad y'all showed up. I'm not really sure why. I got a message that I put together, but you know, it may bore you. You may go to sleep. Some of you may walk out, but I'm going to deliver this message. But I really don't know if you're going to like it or not. If you do, praise God. If you don't, I understand. I don't know if I would listen to me. And I was just blown away because I realized that was the expectation that this particular preacher had. You may not say that out loud like he did, but there are so many that have that subconscious thought in that these people may fall asleep. They may not really like what I'm about to say. So here's my suggestion. Here's my recommendation is that you raise the expectation of your presentation. Raise the expectation of your content because you studied, you prayed, sometimes fasted, you labored, you put this before God. You believe God put this in you to tell the people. So you have to raise this expectation that you know without a doubt somebody will be healed. Somebody's going to be delivered. Somebody's going to be set free. Somebody's going to be made whole because God gave me a word. So when you show up Sunday, you better listen, you better be ready. Buckle your seatbelt or unbuckle it, whatever you need to do. Something's about to change in your life because this word that God gave me was for you and it's about to change everything in your life. Ephesians 3:20 says this, that he'll do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think according to the power that is working in us. So what that means for you is this, that whenever you deliver your message, your expectation that you have, God will exceed that expectation and really do more than what you could ever even have imagined. Be clear on your expectation. If you're preaching a word about deliverance, be clear on the fact that you're believing that the altar is going to be full and people are going to come for deliverance. If you're preaching a message and your primary focus of that message is to get people free from emotional baggage or whatever it is, be clear even in your preparation. Be clear on your expectation. Let me say that one more time because a lot of times we don't really think about this when it comes to sermon prep. In your preparation, be clear on your expectation. Because if you get clear on your expectation in your preparation, whenever you get before the people, you will deliver that word with so much more confidence and so much more clarity. As a matter of fact, when you go to present this word with this type of confidence or with this type of expectation, the people will see the expectation in you. I want you to hear me. This is important. Expectation is transferable. Okay, let me say that again. Especially as a communicator, especially as a preacher, especially when you're in front of the audience, you're in front of your congregation, you are vision casting. You can't vision cast with a low expectation. You can't vision cast about a new building project with this expectation that it may not happen. I don't know if this is, we're going to do a building project and hopefully we can raise the money and get the land and the property. Hopefully it'll happen. I'm not really sure, but we're going to try our best. No, there is an expectation that you got to have that when I cast this vision, when I preach this message, what I'm saying is going to happen because this is the word that God gave me. So your expectation is not based on you. Your expectation is based on him who lives in you. So my expectation is not based on my ability. It's based on his ability. Paul said it this way. He says, I am what I am because of the grace of God. And so that's how we got to say, this is going to happen. This message is going to change lives at a massive level, not because I'm so great, but because I am what I am because of the grace of God. I like to define grace this way: God's ability overtaking my ability so that I can function with his ability, which means that grace is not only for setting you free from sin. It's not only for that. Grace is also a gift that God gives you that allows you to access his ability so that you don't have to function in your own strength, but you get to function with his ability. So this is why I can say I have a very high level of expectation whenever I deliver a presentation, because I believe God's grace is sufficient. God's grace is with me. God's grace has covered me. The other thing is I know the level of study that I put into this message. Now, if your level of study, if your level of research, and your level of prayer, and your level of being in times with God, if that's very low, I can guarantee you this: your expectation and your confidence will be very low. If you didn't spend the quality time that you need for this presentation, yes, your expectation is going to be low. So then that tells me what raises expectation is what you put into the preparation. Oh, let me say that again because that was good. What raises expectation is what you put in the preparation. Low preparation, low expectation. Low preparation, low expectation, low presentation. All right. So what we have to do is get to this point that I put the time in. I spent the time with God. I've been in prayer. I did the study. I did what I needed to do on my part. Now I'm expecting God is going to come in and absolutely, positively do so much more than what I could even have imagined. You just have to raise the expectation. Here's what I'm telling you: as preachers, as teachers, as those who present the gospel, those who present in front of people, your expectation is vital for what is going to happen in that service. Your expectation is vital for what will take place. The people are depending on your expectation because, again, let me say it again. I said it earlier. Expectation is transferable. When they see the expectation in your voice, or hear the expectation in your voice, or see the expectation in your body language, all of a sudden it raises the level of expectation in the people. And I'm the leader. When you have the mic in your hand, you're leading the people. So my first place I'm going to lead them into is a higher level of expectation. So that's what I really want to encourage you today, to expect more when you present. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can get more tips of taking your preaching, your teaching, your sermon prep to a whole nother level. Thank you for joining, and I'll